Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Roku Ronin. In today's episode, I will be judging first, and today's debate is what anime world would be the best to live in. Okay, John, you can go first then.
So we're going to live in an anime world as ourselves. It's just like us personally, not like we're going to live in an anime world as the main character of it or anything like that, right?
No, it's us.
That's what I thought. I wanted to make sure before we got started. Okay, so my choice is the world of Fullmetal Alchemist. The reason why I have decided on this is because after thinking about it a lot, I think the main argument for this is just the concept of alchemy alone solves a lot of the problems that we have in our world currently, because not only can we, let's say, like transmute stuff into water, which is becoming a huge resource that we need in third world countries, things like that. We could just like take some dirty water out of a river, put a circle in the ground, put the right formula in, and just slap our hands on it, and suddenly it's drinkable. And we can cure some diseases like that. Hell, there'd probably be a cure for cancer very, very quickly, because then all you'd have to say is, okay, like this formula says, take out any cells out of this being that aren't completely normal, so that, or if they're cancerous or something like that. It'd be a lot easier to do a lot of very, very complicated stuff that's preventing us from making huge advances in science and in economy, things like that. There was another thing that I was going to say about, there's also an entire prosthetic market that would be there that would be awesome, because everybody could walk around with like completely functional metal limbs. And there's just a lot of things about the world that it's just going to solve a lot of problems, like I've said before. That's basically what it boils down to.
Okay, that sounds pretty good. I'm very happy someone did choose Fullmetal Alchemist. I myself, if I had participated, was thinking about doing it, but there were too many good choices, so I'm judging instead. But let's move on to the next person. Frankie, how about you go?
Oh god, okay.
Good luck.
I had to think about this a lot, because I'd have one idea, and then I'd change it, and then I'd change it again. But I came down to the conclusion that the best place or universe to live in, for me personally, would be Fairy Tale, because, well, for reasons. One. Okay, gotta think of one. I have this planned out, trust me. One, you have guilds, who can basically, they're there to do jobs for you. So, if you have a job that you need doing, and you're too lazy to do it, like myself, you can just get them to do it. And that's one reason. Yep. And another reason is also you could join up with a guild, and it would be an easy way to earn money and get money to pay for things such as housing and food. And also, living near a guild is helpful if you need to seek help or guidance. They're always very kind and helpful. It's a somewhat safe environment. I wouldn't say fully, but that just adds to the charm of living in the universe of Fairy Tale, whatever. You also, if you ever get into a fight, all you need is the power of friendship, and you can just overcome. And I'm sure everyone has friends in Fairy Tale, in the Fairy Tale land, or as long as you have friendship by your side, you're unstoppable, apparently. So Nakama power is something. Yeah, but overall it just seems like a cheery, happy place to live, and that, yeah, I've run out of things to say about Fairy Tale. Yep. Yep.
Okay. That was good.
No, it wasn't.
Okay, Matt.
I'm actually very surprised, Frankie, that you didn't pick Soul Eater right off the bat.
That was my second choice. But all my reasons would have been because
her
of
real first
it.
choice was free.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
You know.
Oh yeah. I do like
Yowie
my
saves the world.
In the sure, yeah. Yowie. Love it.
So, Matt, are you ready, Matt?
Yeah, so my world is the world of Neo Venencia in the anime Aria. Simply because the world is simply relaxing. It's beautiful, it's soothing. It's tailored to a more realistic tone, even though it's a sci-fi show that takes place several hundred years in the future, and Neo Venencia is a replica of Venice on Mars. But it's just the world and the people you meet are all generally kind, but that doesn't go without saying that there isn't darkness and sadness in the world. And I feel that every world needs darkness and sadness a little bit, so we can compare what is good and what is bad. We can compare what is happiness to sadness, because if there's no sadness, happiness would just be we wouldn't know what happiness would be, in a sense. So I think having that kind of balance would really make Aria a very relaxing world. And there's nothing really too special to the world of Aria. It's just really, it's kind of like there are challenges in life, but everything is fine. Like, the world is content, and I think that's what makes the world of Aria really great, that it's just beautiful and it's content. And there's nothing fancy and whatnot, but I think sometimes to keep it simple is to keep it the best. And yeah, also gondolas are pretty fun to ride on.
Okay, so we've heard from each of you. Now let's get down to the actual debating portion. Oh yeah.
No.
So, how would, you've described what the world is like and some of the stuff you do in it, but what would sort of your day-to-day life be? Like, what kind of jobs would you be doing? Like, how would you be living? Would you be able to experience as full a life as you would in this world, or even better? And stuff like that. I know you, John, and you, Frankie, touched on it. Matt, maybe you could explore on that a little bit more. Like, what would you be doing in this world apart from relaxing?
I mean, there's multiple things you can do. You can be, in the show itself, they show all different kinds of people, in which people whom make these special glasses that they really do have, like special vase glass. There's the gondola tour guides whom tour people around the city, and that's probably the dream job, because I mean, touring around and getting to meet people from all over the world, getting to know more about the place you live in and more about the secrets every day. I think that's really amazing. Then you get to see other people like postmen and some other people who do other jobs. And it's just, there's this thing where every day is an adventure in itself, an adventure within this town. And that's what it essentially is. It's, again, very simple, that it is a slice of life, but only that the life is very content. It's nothing too special, but it's like, let's say you live in Paris, and your whatever occupation you have allows you to go around the city of Paris and meet up with random people, and you get to learn more about the people who live in the city, and you get to learn more about the city itself. Or if you live in New York and you have a job that requires you to go around New York and meet different people around it, there's 8 million people who live in the city, and there's so many people to meet, there's so many possibilities, and there's so much to learn about the city because it's enormous. It's essentially that. And I feel that what most people like, I think at least, is this idea of having an adventure every day. I mean, this adventure isn't life-threatening either so yeah, there's that. What more do you want from me?
No, that's good. How about you, John? Like anything additional that you could tell us about what you'd be doing in day-to-day life, your daily living, and how it could, I guess not so much how it would compare to our world, since you did touch on that, but just some more details about, I guess, your daily life.
So there would be an entire economy based around alchemy. There'd be jobs based around alchemy. We would set up some sort of like academy for it. There'd be schools for it. There'd be infrastructure. There'd be a whole like infrastructure based around alchemy. So instead of having like the one repair guy that is a plumber, and that's all he does is he plumbs every day, we could have repairmen that know how to fix everything. They'd know how to fix every single thing in the world. And let's say I wake up in the morning, I make my breakfast, I pour myself a cup of coffee, I decide I'm going to switch to decaf, so I touch the symbol on the side of my cup and it becomes decaf, just takes the caffeine right out. Make toast. Everybody likes toast. And I mean, obviously, some sort of Colonel Mustang thing. We'd have toasters that just have circles on the inside. And you push the lever down, it's just like, makes toast instantly. And then, I don't know how much that would affect transportation, but it would certainly, mean the price of gas would be stupidly cheap, since we could basically make it out of most anything. There's a lot of convenience to it, and I think that with the right application, that daily life would be just absolutely easy.
Well, like the issue with what you're saying is it's kind of like the issue with how we're having machines do more of our daily activity, like controlling more of our daily activities. That's actually taking away opportunities for people to do jobs. I mean, when you can transmutate whatever like the magic thing does in the world, I mean, there's less and less people, like when, let's say that you have a plumber whom fix plumbing, and then you have a carpenter whom helps build home, or you have repair, like a VCR, no one uses VCR anymore, like a cable box repairman. If one person is able to do all of that, then it kind of cuts down the amount of people needed to do that, because you're going to need one. The thing is about jobs is that usually to provide security, one person would specialize in one thing. If one person can specialize in everything, less people would be needed.
Well, sure. My other antecedent to this is that, to your argument there, is that where, like, you said stuff like robots would be taking the opportunities away from people, pushing people out of those jobs. That is somewhat true. But at least with alchemy, there is still the element of human interaction. The human has to figure out how to completely repair something, or to completely turn something into something else.
Yeah, that's. I'm just saying that you would need less people.
But
though.
I would think I would hope. I mean, it's the same with, like, if we could make an analogy from alchemists to engineers. There are many different types of engineers. There's like mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, audio engineers, many different types of the same job. So maybe not one repair guy that can do everything, but it basically sets a new foundation for the way we structure different parts of our society. So
yeah, but another question about your idea is that, are you putting the act of transmutation into our world, or are you putting yourself into the world that's already been created
in the world
FMA?
there? That actually is a very good point. I am kind of talking this up like we've got it in our world. But I was going to say, if at least it's like our personalities and things like that we were going into the world, we would have this kind of knowledge to where we could kind of spread that around, and we could get some more modernized stuff in there. But
well, I don't know if that's the argument. I think the argument is, if we, like, which universe or which world would it be best to be born into? If you're born into the world of FMA, you wouldn't know the difference. I mean,
true.
FMA is still kind of a war, at least at that time. Like, at least at the time of the show, it was kind of behind. But
right.
There's actually a plot twist to FMA that I want to use as an argument, but it's a plot twist.
Oh. Should we do a spoiler alert?
You know what? Fuck it. It's FMA. It's not even a good show.
Spoiler alert.
No, okay. So essentially, you know how in the end of FMA they find out that basically their world's a parallel universe to our own world anyway.
In the original one.
Yeah, in the better one. But essentially that's another thing though. It's that if you watch the show, there's a lot of terrible things that actually happen in the world. I mean, terrible things are probably happening in all of the worlds we chose, but there is constant warfare in the world of FMA. I mean, the people of, I think Shambhala, was it?
Oh, yeah.
Just like got crucified. It was like the Holocaust there, and there's the fucking Führer is one of the main villains, and he's the Führer.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like there's this sense of...
We also had a World War II.
Yeah, I know, but there's
also
this sense...
keep in mind that with alchemy, it gives many people the tools to cause a lot of destruction and even kill people. So that does make the world more dangerous than others, perhaps. I don't know about compared to these ones. Although if you take Matt's world, as he said, very little danger or anything dangerous happens in his. So at the moment, Matt's is the most safest when you are talking about danger.
But the other thing that I was going to bring up, and I thought you were going to make this point, but you didn't actually say it. Yes, these people have the ability to cause large amounts of destruction, do some pretty terrible stuff, but the tools that we've been given with alchemy in this world, regardless of what age or time or what knowledge we have, what modernization we have, we now, with alchemy, have the ability to fix a lot of these things very, very easily. It's completely dependent on the people. And
but as you can see from the show, the people aren't very. I mean,
right?
It's humanity. Like, we're not gonna do perfect things, and I think the closest we can ever get to perfection is probably a world like either Pokemon or Aria. So that's what I think. That there's always gonna be human suffering, but what you want is to get the best balance between a good life and a bad life, because there's always going to be someone that's going to have bad intentions in any world. It just depends on how much they can utilize that bad intention, such as in the world of FMA, there's alchemy, and these people can basically do a lot of shit.
But just because the story of Aria is very, very peaceful, that doesn't mean the world of Aria is going to be peaceful as well?
No, the world of Aria has had histories that they've referenced before where
right. So what's the difference there?
It's that the magnitude of the terrible things people can do, because Aria basically is set in our universe, just in the several hundred years in the future. So you can't really... So there's no really... There's nothing like magic that can enhance people to do terrible things. It's not like someone can have magic and destroy the entire place just like
right,
that.
But I mean, you do have, in the series of Aria, you do have the technology to rebuild a civilization and then terraform it on Mars. So, I mean, there's going to be some serious technology that could possibly harm people.
Yeah, but as you can see in the show, that doesn't happen.
Well...
At least in the universe, that doesn't happen.
There's bits of Fullmetal Alchemist where people don't get hurt. So what's the difference?
Well, the thing is that there's never a moment in Aria where towns get destroyed and genocide happens.
But you're saying there's not a possibility for it to happen.
No, I'm not saying that there's no possibility, but it never shows such. In FMA, it continuously happens, and it's because the world of FMA is very rocky still. It's not a lot of it is set in place. It's kind of fascist / feudal in a way.
But
that's the problem. That's the problem.
Does that mean
with
the world of FMA has no capability for peace whatsoever? You're dancing around that, because what I'm saying is that as much as Aria, I see Aria, there's tons of peace everywhere. It's very, very tranquil. The series is very tranquil. There's still going to be bad shit that happens.
Yeah, but it's not going to be on the magnitude of FMA.
Why not?
Because I already said there's no transmutation or magic to enhance
A civilization
evildoers.
that can terraform an entire planet surely has some sort of crazy future tech weapons that could probably decimate an entire nation.
Yeah, but it's not documented in the show. So, I mean, if you kind of want to go out of the show's boundaries, you can kind of really say anything because that territory is really ambiguous.
And I'm sure there are entire nations in Fullmetal Alchemist that are incredibly peaceful and go on by their business without all this genocide and things like that.
We don't see much of that, though. That's my argument. We don't see much of that. I'm not saying that there's no possibility for it, but I think what we're talking about is what universe is the best universe to live in like seeing what we see in the show.
I think there's a dark side to Aria that I don't think you're taking into account here, is that the human race has had to leave Earth.
They don't have to leave Earth. They just expanded. They colonized Mars, but they never left Earth.
I think as a call, since we keep going around and around, I'm gonna say that the arguments based on what should be more, I suppose, based on what we see in the show itself. So if you don't see the pain and all the destruction and whatnot in the show, you can safely assume that it's probably not going to affect you if you're living in that universe for the purposes of this argument. Also, because we keep going around and around, and we've been on this topic for a little while, I would like to hear a little more from Frankie. Yes.
No, I was staying quiet.
No, you can't anymore.
No.
Frankie, what's the daily life like in your world? What's dangerous about your world?
Well, there's things about fairy tale. Majority of it is good, but the bad side to it is that there's a lot of dark guilds which cause a lot of havoc and do indeed affect like the neighborhoods and stuff. Why did I choose fairy tale?
I was gonna say, part of one of the arcs in your show is about a dragon that brings the destruction of existence. So
they're saved by Nakama power. It's fine if you find yourself in shit. The show tells you that if you're in a bad situation, Nakama power always pulls through.
But what if you don't have that?
Someone else will have it. It'll be fine.
What if you're like Adehm and you don't have friends?
Well,
thank you, Matt.
Adam's my friend, so
no.
I'll give him half of my Nakama power.
You can't like talk. You can't suck up on the judge.
No,
it's not fair.
I give my Nakama power out to people because I'm a good person. Okay, but we don't know where I'm going with this. But the daily life in fairy tale, depending on what path you choose to go down, really. If you choose to go down the guild life, it's most likely you're going to be more exposed to danger. But there's less risk of you getting hurt because you're usually partnered up with people and Nakama power always pulls through. That's basically going to be the whole basis of my argument. Nakama power, because you can't beat it. It's just unstoppable.
Can either of you beat Nakama power?
Yes, Aria is all about the world of friends.
No, I'll beat
Aria has like
up.
all of her. Akari has all of her friends with her. There's Aika. There's Alice. There's Athena. There's
the president.
Yeah, President Aria. There's one Akira, but there's one person whose name is right off the bat of my head and
right off the bat of your head.
Akari's boss.
What?
I'm circling. What's her, she's like such a maid. She's such a big character. What the? It's the blonde one.
I'll beat them up with my Nakama power.
So John, how would you combat Nakama power?
I would transmute the Nakama power into some sort of energy source Assuming Nakama power is some sort of tangible source of energy.
I think it's from humans. You'd be doing human transmutation.
Oh, that's true.
Not
That's
right.
true. That's true.
That's
Never
not
mind.
right, John.
I would.
I can't believe this.
I would transmute. This is a good question.
I think Frankie has something up her sleeve.
I really don't. I'm just making this up as I go along.
Oh no.
My strongest argument's Nakama power, so I'm just sticking with it.
Okay, my main argument is that my world doesn't have magic or dark guilds that want to erase or eradicate the existence of our kind or civilization. I'm just saying that, by the way. There's no dark guilds, there's no dragon, and there's no Dante trying to kill us all.
So, in Fullmetal Alchemist, as we've already stated, there is a twist in the series, spoiler warning, that the entirety of Fullmetal Alchemist, at least in the first series, and to a lesser extent, part of the second series, that takes place in a parallel world. So that there are two separate worlds that are somewhat interconnected to a certain extent. So my point that I was going to bring up with that is that even if the world of Fullmetal Alchemist has war and has terror and things like that, it opens up the possibility of parallel worlds, which means that travel between these could be possible, which means that you could go to any parallel world you could think of.
Let's just take the two they show us.
Okay, never mind. My argument is invalid.
I mean, they never really, they never implied a possibility of other worlds. It's just those two worlds. And if you're just saying that, it's kind of like, if my choice of the best world gets too bad, then you can escape it.
Frankie, do you have anything else to say about your world? To combat the other two, just anything?
The male mages are pretty hot. That's my argument. Goodbye.
No.
I kind of want to let Frankie win just because I think that'd be funny, but...
Please,
no.
I don't win anything. Please.
Adam, Aria is about cats, and Aria has a giant human-sized cat.
Stop pandering to me.
There's a lot of cats in Aria, and actually cats are symbolic of a deeper message in the show. If you'd only continue it, god damn it.
I've lost, haven't I?
Yeah.
No.
Can I get points for effort, please?
I had my money on Frankie though.
Why?
Well, I hope you didn't put too much on her.
There's an argument that you should have used, Frankie, which is that your world was gonna have a kickin' soundtrack.
Oh fuck.
Aria has a really nice soundtrack.
Okay. So, since it's based on debates and how well you argued your world, and not the choice itself, I will have to go with... Fuck. Matt.
What? I won? It's the first time I ever won anything in my life.
You won, Matt.
Okay, I'm probably never gonna win again.
I can't believe I had to do you, Matt.
The power of good shows always wins.
Can't believe.
Oh god. Why are you so angry?
I'm not angry, I'm just in disbelief.
Why?
It was our thing, you never win.
Fuck you.
He told me this, and I was like, I don't know. By the way, Matt, as soon as you said Pokemon, I was like, son of a bitch. Why didn't I think of that?
I was gonna say Pokemon,
yeah.
But then I saw watching the movies, some dark shit actually happened. So
I think if you had chosen Pokemon, whoever did probably would have won, because that's a hard one to beat. But then again, it's about the debating. So congratulations, though, Matt, you won.
Hooray!
Yeah.
Do I get the Evangelion music too?
No, we're not doing that again.
Oh.
We're not repeating ourselves, at least not for another year. You can think of something else if you want, like Aria related. Maybe the president comes and says congratulations. I don't know.
It doesn't speak.
I
Okay,
guess you
just-
don't get a congratulations.
I will include a single air horn file in my audio. Just a little.
Let's move on to the next debate. Woo!
Yay!
So, your next topic, or whatever, is what anime world would be the worst to live in? And we will start with Adehm. What is your worst world to live in?
Oh boy, okay. So, I thought about it, and I came up with an answer. It was the only one, since I wanted to choose a show that I actually saw, it was the only one I could think of that was, like, really bad, that at least I could remember. And it is the world of Attack on Titan. Who would want to live in that place? That is a terrible, terrible world to live in. I mean, titans just that eat people, and there's death all the time, in, like, almost every episode, and you're probably gonna die, so what's the point of living? It's Attack on Titan. I mean, even when you are living, there's not that much great point to living. It's more like just a struggle to even survive. What's so good about the world? There is nothing good about the world. The only thing good about it is that it's fun to watch, not to live in. So I rest my case for now with that.
Okay. Matt, what's your worst place to live in?
I was gonna say Attack on Titan, but Adehm, of course, had to destroy my life.
Yes.
I guess the worst universe to live in is the universe of Vadarth anime reviews. No,
God damn it, no.
Well, anyway, my choice is Ergo Proxy, the desolate world in which it's basically a civilization inside a dome because the rest of the outside world has been destroyed due to what is kind of implied to be nuclear warfare. So think of the world as like a world of like Mad Max, only that it's not even like crazy fun. It's just depressing. I mean, inside the dome, inside the city, everyone has kind of become robotic, and you can't really have a personality. It's like 1984, because you all have to, like, everyone has to work along with the system instead. So there's that. So you're essentially already dead. You're not dead. You're already dead. And also some of the stuff that happens in the end is pretty terrible. So yeah, Ergo Proxy. I don't know if anyone has seen that though.
No.
Yeah.
Bits and pieces.
This is gonna be hard. Frankie, what show have you seen? No, I'm kidding.
Free. Yep.
That's
It's
it.
not terrible.
She didn't actually see Fairy Tail. She just saw Free.
And my argument is that the worst world to live in is free. No, I'm just kidding.
Too late. You gotta do
You
it now.
lose, John.
No, John. You only have one chance. You gotta go with free now.
No.
I'm sorry. That's the
No.
rule.
My other joke was going to be that I was going to do Aria.
I swear to God.
Yeah. And what's hilarious is that Adehm also picked one of the ones that I was going to do. It was going to be my backup. But I'm glad nobody picked my first one. Hooray. My choice for the worst anime world to live in is the world of Parasyte. Because what's worse than constantly living in fear of everything that's going to kill you in the world than living in a world where the world around you is slowly being devoured by creatures that you can't comprehend and you don't even know about it.
But you don't know about it.
I mean, one could say there's bliss in ignorance, so...
True.
Like, in Attack on Titan, you're like, oh my god, I am constantly in fear, whereas
Hold on.
Parasite, you have ignorance. and
Yo,
that's
motherfuckers,
bliss.
this is my opening statement.
Do not interrupt. I am in charge. I have power.
Don't forget that he said Free was bad.
Yeah.
Okay, minus points.
until the media catches on and they start releasing more information about the parasites until they go on TV one day and say, motherfucking full-blown invasion, There's aliens everywhere. They can look like anybody. We're boned. And then we're all constantly living in fear. Even worse than Titans, it could be anybody. So not only is the human race not banding together, they're also drifting apart because people are very, very hesitant to trust other people because you could be a parasite. Also, Free wasn't that bad. It was okay. It was animated pretty well. I like water.
I like men. Anyway,
So, John, while your world might be really, really awful to live in, I think that Attack on Titan is even worse because of the fact that whereas you said that you're, afraid of everybody, it could be anyone. Whereas it could be anyone. At least you're like on guard and you can sort of protect yourself against normal people. Like if you got a gun or something, maybe you could just do that. Against a giant Titan, it's not really the same. And sure, you might have maneuver gear if you can use it. But as we've seen in the show, like over half of them die anyway or more. And they kill how many Titans? Not that many. So it's like I feel like a way more like terrible world, and also yes, you might have like better connections with people, but they could die at any moment, like from a Titan attack, or maybe they go out in the wilderness to go fight them, and then they die, and you never get to see them again. So you sort of almost have to steel yourself against like caring for too many people, or else you will find yourself without them, unless you're like one of those douchebags for like the 1% in the very center of the whole like whatever world. But those people are just 1%. And you can find that even in Parasyte, I'm sure, the 1% hidden away. But anyways, in Parasyte as well, not all the... I haven't seen Parasyte, so this makes it a little more difficult for me. But, Matt, help me out.
I haven't seen Parasyte. Okay, well, I have one argument.
Yes.
I've heard Parasyte is actually not a very good show. And Attack on Titan is decent. It's like a decent show. It's not bad at all.
I don't think
but
that
Ergo
that
Proxy is a great show. So, well, I can't. No one's seen Ergo Proxy.
I mean, just explain more things about the world. Like
I don't. Everything else is a spoiler.
Why did you choose it?
Because it's such a depressing world. You don't understand.
I understand parts of it to a certain extent, but my main argument for Adehm actually. Yes, you are living in constant fear of these things and all that stuff. And while you do have some defenses against the Titans, they are a quite impressive sight to behold, and are incredibly they strike fear in damn near everybody. The one exception to this rule is you have people living in your cities that can turn into Titans themselves and fight back.
Well, to be completely fair, only one of them was on our side. We still don't know what that's all about even, or how he even has that. And the only other one that could do it was against us, actually. So I don't know if you could say people on our side who can do that. And even if they can, as he's proved, he's not invincible, and he can't take... It doesn't, throw it all the way to our side. We're still pretty much outnumbered.
Well, still, it's better defense than just the maneuver gear.
Yeah, it is, but it's not as much defense as I feel you could have in the world of Parasyte, because you could still have all the normal defensive stuff you have. And I feel, I haven't seen the show, so I could be wrong, but from what I understand, the aliens are just inhabiting people. Now, while they can transform them slightly, if you have normal weapons, you could probably still defeat those aliens relatively easily, at least compared to the Titans.
Somewhat true, yeah, but take into account in Attack on Titan, you have people training constantly to kill Titans. You have to train for... How long did they train to kill those things?
Yeah, they, years, and even then, most of them still die.
Yeah, well, what the Parasites have over that is the element of surprise. Because not a lot of people are going to be training for years and years and years to kill these things. They just kind of show up out of the blue one day, and then start messing with stuff.
Are all of them evil? I feel like there's not all of them are. I don't know. I haven't seen the show.
No, they are essentially insects. The main exception is Shinichi, and Shinichi barely has control over Migi for the first part of the series.
But is the world overall more dangerous than Attack on Titan? Like, are there more people being killed?
I would think so, because whereas in Attack on Titan, a lot of humanity is basically just bunched into one area, and for all we know, in a couple areas. I mean, there might be more Wall Marias around everywhere. In Parasyte, this is happening all over the world, all at once. There's like millions of people that are possessed or like taken over by these parasites. So
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Basically. And the worst part about it is you won't know it's coming because you can't tell. And in the end, humanity's extinct.
So Frankie, who wins?
Really? You giving up?
I've already given up. I've won once. I don't need to win again.
God damn it. You win?
He got cocky.
No, like it's like I can't argue for a show that I don't want to spoil to you guys, and
Why did you choose
you guys
it?
haven't seen. I didn't have a choice. You picked my main choice. I didn't have a backup.
I mean, if I had seen the show, I was actually might have done Texonolite. I can't pronounce it.
Technolize?
Texnolize.
Text no lies.
Yes.
That sounds terrible. We can't text lies.
My original answer was Studio Dean Fate Stay Night, because even though you have all this magic and stuff, you're animated by Studio Dean. Oh no.
Other than the threat of being killed, is there anything else that's makes it a living hell to live in that universe? So other than the threat of that, is there anything else?
Well, in Attack on Titan, there's constant fear, but you have that with John as well. Attack on Titan, there's people dying all the time, but you have that with John as well.
In mine, not only are you under attack from the parasites, but in the event that it's made nationwide that parasites are a thing, which...
That was a really stupid move, by the way, probably.
What?
Like, no, just saying, like, on behalf of the government in that anime.
Well,
I don't know if revealing it to everyone was the smartest idea.
Well, no, they don't reveal it to everybody. But it's implied that in the future that's going to happen.
You're saying the future is when they're all going to know.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's an invasion.
I mean, if we're taking like the future of things, then you could also say, since we don't know where Attack on Titan will go, one of the options is that everyone could just end up dead and then humanity is gone.
Very true. So, Frankie, it's up to you.
Okay.
We know Matt's already lost, so...
Yeah, Matt, you lose. Sorry.
It's fine.
I think... Yeah, okay. I think I'm gonna go with John, actually. I was gonna go with Adehm, but no.
What?
Yay! I did it!
I don't like the idea of parasites and insects. I don't like insects.
Yeah.
Okay, John, you won another one.
Oh man, I'm 2 for 0 now. Man. Woo!
I mean, technically you lost 2, you won 2, but unless you're just talking about podcasts in general.
I have 2 victories, yay. I'm winning, I guess. I don't even know if we're gonna keep score. I don't really care. Just as long as the one win that Matt has is the only one he gets.
Oh god.
So yeah, just to tally it up, Matt won, then John won, and that was this podcast. And we hope to catch you again for the next one.
So enthusiastic. So enthusiastic.
We hope to catch you again for the next one. Let's see you all next time. Goodbye now.
Air horns.
Yeah.
Confetti. Parties. Doo-doo.
Evangelion.
Oh my god.
Gotta have it in.
No!